All right, so here we are with the final chapter of this DVD. We're going to talk about harmonizing the major scale. What this is a group of chords that are built from the notes of the diatonic major scale. The major scale has 7 notes, so we can build 7 chords, one beginning on each scale step. And we do this by stacking thirds, playing every other note together. If we do this in the key of G, the first chord we get is a G major chord. So the one chord in the key of G is a G major chord. The next note in the G major scale after G is A. And if I play every other note, every third note from A, but stay within the notes of the G major scale, I get an A minor chord. These are all triads that we're playing. So the second chord in the key of G major is A minor. The third chord is B minor. Fourth chord, C major. Fifth chord, D major. Sixth chord, E minor. And the 7th chord is F sharp diminished. That's one we haven't done yet. That contains F sharp, A, and C. That's an F sharp diminished triad. And then we're back to G, 1 octave above where we started. So let's review that. The 1 chord is G. The 2nd chord in G major is A minor chord. 3 chord B minor. 4 chord C major. 5 chord D major. 6 chord E minor. 7 chord F sharp diminished. And then we have an octave above where we started, G major. So you may ask, why bother? What is the point of doing this? Well, this has huge advantages if you are familiar with the chords of the harmonized major scale. Let's say we have a song that has G, D, and C in it. For example, Knocking on Heaven's Door. All right, well, let's say someone says, I need a great solo over these chords. What are you going to do? Are you just going to go by ear and try and find your way around and hope that you don't hit any sour notes? Or, knowing the chords of the harmonized major scale, are you going to say to yourself, G could be the 1 chord, the first chord in the key of G. D major is the 5 chord in the key of G. C major is the 4 chord in the key of G. All these chords are built from notes of the major scale. I can therefore use the G major scale when soloing over these chords. So now with confidence you can know what scale to use when soloing. So this has huge advantages. So you have to memorize the order of the chords in the diatonic harmonized major scale, and that is major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, diminished. So you have to say that in your sleep. Major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, diminished. You need to know that without thinking too much about it. What if we have a song that has G, D, and A minor? Once again, we go through the same process. We can start just by guessing. The first chord is often the key that we're in. So if we guess that G is the first chord and we're in the key of G, then you have to ask yourself, does D major fit in the key of G? D is the fifth of G, major, minor, minor, major, major. The 5 chord in the key of G is D major. Yes, it fits. A minor, A is the second note in the key of G. Minor is the second chord. Therefore, A minor also belongs in the key of G. So I played a 1, 5, 2 in the key of G. So I can use the G major scale to solo over these chords. Musicians also talk in numbers. So if someone says to you, play a 1, 4, 5 in the key of G, what would you do? Would you panic and say, I don't know what you're talking about? Or, knowing this information now, you can play 1 in the key of G would be a G major chord. The fourth note in the G major scale is C. 1, 2, 3, 4. The fourth chord, major, minor, minor, major, is a C major chord. And the fifth chord that you know now is D major. So if someone says to you, play a 1, 4, 5 in the key of G, you would say, no problem, G, C, and D. All right, well, if all of this information is new for you, I've probably been talking pretty fast. But that's the beauty of the DVD here, is that you can just rewind and absorb this information at your own pace. But knowing the chords of the harmonized major scale can really help you out a lot. Not only will it help your improvising because you'll be able to analyze chord changes and know what scale to use, but this will also improve your ears because you'll be able to anticipate chord changes. It'll improve your songwriting because you'll know what chords naturally fit well together. So there's a lot of advantages to knowing the chords of the harmonized major scale. So to summarize this chapter, you should be able to say this: major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, diminished. That's the order of the chords in the harmonized major scale, and you should be able to play those in every key. Okay, so if you can do that, then you got your money's worth out of this DVD. Okay, so take some time with that, try and absorb this information, and I think that'll really help you out.